At least 17 people are dead after a shooter opens fire in a Florida high school, gunning down students. Tonight, a community in shock. The suspect, who we now know is a former student at the school, is in custody as multiple agencies try to piece together what happened. Good evening, I'm Molly Martinez. Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School is located about 40 miles north of Miami. The high school is one of the largest in Broward County, with about 3,000 students enrolled. Fox's Anna Eliopoulos is following the story and has been since it broke.
A chaotic scene unfolding as police respond to an active shooter at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Broward County, Florida.
There are numerous fatalities. It's a horrific situation. It's just a horrible day for us.
A suspect is now in custody, police apprehending the person about a mile and a half from the school. It's a fluid situation as officials try to piece together a fatal shooting at the high school in Parkland, Florida. Officials say a gunman entered the school just after 3 p.m. and opened fire, prompting an immediate lockdown.
There's a lot of blood. People were dead in the halls.
At least 20 to 50 people are believed to be injured, and some people were still barricaded inside the school late into the afternoon.
The good thing the door was locked. The shooter shot through the door, poked in, shot a couple people next to me. I was sitting right behind a cabinet and the bullet passed my ear.
Worried parents flocking to the scene.
She sent me videos of her crying on the floor, and I saw pictures they sent me of the people that were shot in the hallway and dead. And it just felt helpless. Nothing I could do. I try to get her as quick as I can and just to be there whenever they make it out.
President Trump has been briefed on the shooting and tweeted his condolences to all affected. Anna Eliopoulos, Fox News.
Our other top story tonight, witnesses took the stand today in Dickinson to testify in the brutal murder of 23-year-old Nicholas Johnson. Daniela Hurtado brings us the latest from outside the courtroom.
Molly, the state forensic examiner William Macello said he conducted the autopsy on August 22nd, 2016, and when he did, he found the body brutally beaten. The state showed some gruesome photos. We won't show you those at home, but we will show you these diagrams that show the areas where Johnson was brutally beaten, had swelling, cuts, broken bones, and a bruised brain.
What was also unique is there was a broad brown leather belt around his neck.
The belt was put into evidence along with the flashlight, which forensic biologist Danielle Jardel says was tested for fecal matter. Today was just the first day of witnesses rolling in to take the stand. The trial's expected to run well over into next week. Reporting from Stark County for West Dakota Fox News at 9, I'm Daniela Hurtado.
Time now is 9:03. Let's take our first check on weather with meteorologist Henry Blake.
Hey, weather turning back to winter. Today we topped out in the 40s. Yeah, that's not going to be the case tomorrow. And what to expect for your frigid Thursday forecast later on.
Thanks, Henry. A former Catholic priest who fled to the Philippines 15 years ago to avoid prosecution for child abuse sex charges pleaded not guilty in Cass County Court this morning. Fernando Saez is charged with 2 felony counts of molesting children while serving in the Fargo area. His bail is set at $5 million. And the man accused of trying to run over a Bismarck police officer was back in court today. Ulysses Villalobos is asking for his bond to be reduced. He says he wants it lowered to $10,000. Judge James Hill rejected the request, saying Villalobos poses a risk to the community and law enforcement. Villalobos is charged with attempted murder and fleeing a peace officer. A Mandan man was arrested yesterday morning after punching a woman in the face and threatening to kill her. Police say 21-year-old Dylan Johannes Butler forced his way into the woman's car at a gas station. It happened on East Main Street in Mandan. That's when he punched her in the face and asked if she was ready to die. The woman was able to escape and call police. Butler was arrested for terrorizing, simple domestic assault, disorderly conduct, and criminal mischief. A 6-year-old boy was hit by a car near Saxvik Elementary School yesterday morning on his way to the school bus. Bismarck PD says the child was already on his way to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries when they got to the scene. There's no word yet on if the driver will face any charges. The case is being sent to the city attorney for review. Well, Bismarck will soon be on the big screen. The city has paid a production company to produce a promotional video to attract people to Bismarck. The video is meant to be shared and used for employment, recruitment, and tourism.
We want to keep the people that we have here, but at the same time, we have a segment of our population that is aging. So we want to keep the great people that we have here, but we know that we're going to need to bring new people here to fill those open positions into the jobs that we're going to have available when those people retire.
The video comes with a $5,000 price tag. If you'd like to see it, you can go to bismarcknd.gov. In political news, Representative Kevin Cramer says he's reconsidered a Senate bid. He says other Republicans are pushing him to take on incumbent Democrat Heidi Heitkamp. He says he expects to make the decision by the weekend. Last month, Cramer said he planned to run for re-election in the House. And speaking of Senator Heidi Heitkamp, the senator is celebrating a major legislative win tonight. The carbon capture technology bill, sponsored by Senator Heitkamp, offers incentives for large carbon capture and storage. Heitkamp says the goal is to stabilize the state's coal and natural gas industries. Another aim for the bill, laying the groundwork to usher in technology innovation to keep those industries current and competitive.
The great thing about this bill is we had people from the coal industry like Arch and Peabody and Cloud Peak, all of those coal companies on a bill, also with environmental groups and with some of the strongest environmentalists in this country.
The bill garnered bipartisan support, including from Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. It was passed as part of the spending bill that was pushed through the House last week. A state oil company is facing some major fines for failing to report a saltwater spill in Bottineau County. According to the complaint, Great American Royalties waited 2 weeks to notify anyone of the 470-barrel leak. The spill happened on September 24th and wasn't reported until October 9th. Great American Royalties could be fined up to $12,500 for each day it didn't report the spill. And the Dakota Access Pipeline private security firm accused of operating illegally in the state is now asking a judge to restrict evidence. State investigators say Tiger Swan operated without a license during the pipeline protests and should be banned from working in the state. Tiger Swan's attorney maintains the company provided consulting services that don't require a North Dakota license and that any investigative work took place in the company's North Carolina headquarters. Well, today marks Ash Wednesday, which is the beginning of Lent. Pope Francis had a message for all those celebrating: slow down. The leader of the Catholic Church says finding balance in a high-tech, instant gratification world is important. Hundreds gathered today to hear him preside in Rome. During Lent, Christians are encouraged to give up something and reflect on self-improvement. Here in Bismarck, parishioners are celebrating both Ash Wednesday and Valentine's Day. The two haven't landed on the same day since World War II. And Cynthia McLaughlin shows us how you celebrate is causing some conflict.
Catholics all over are dealing with the shakeup of holidays this year. To feast or to fast?
I tell the kids there's 365 days a year, and so that we're asking them to fast as a penance and as a way to enter in more deeply into this holy season, just 2 days a year. And so today is one of those days.
Most U.S. bishops have told parishioners to observe Valentine's Day on a different day, which is why cathedral elementary parties were held Tuesday.
Who are marked with these ashes.
Fasting usually only involves adults. St. Mary's Central High School students only have cheese bread at lunch for the beginning of Lent.
St. Valentine is a 4th century martyr who died for the faith, and so I trust that he would understand our fasting as a way to enter in more deeply to the season.
Some Catholics feel the dual days of celebration are significant.
I think what a nice coincidence that we celebrate Valentine's Day as we begin Ash Wednesday, our journey into new life, to loving Christ, to loving other people, and making that our pathway.
Whether you're giving into your sweet tooth or saving the sweets for later, this collision won't happen again for a long time. For West Dakota Fox News at 9, I'm Cynthia McLaughlin.
It took a Florida jury less than 15 minutes to find a man guilty today. 61-year-old Donald Smith has been convicted of kidnapping, rape, and murder of an 8-year-old child. The guilty verdict was unanimous. Police in Texas are looking for a man who opened fire in a crowded restaurant last night. When officers arrived, they found 2 people shot. They were transported to a Dallas hospital. They say the gunman and another woman are still on the loose. A new video tonight of what caused a woman to get thrown off a Delta flight. The incident happened last week on a Syracuse-bound flight. The woman first starts yelling at a mother who has a crying baby, then threatens the flight attendant. She was eventually removed. In business news, JCPenney announcing they plan on laying off 670 workers. The move comes as many traditional brick and mortar retailers cut back amid lost sales from internet shopping. And Sam's Club announcing today that it'll be making some changes to membership offerings. Now, there will only be 2 membership options. Those are Sam's Club, which costs $45 a year, and Sam's Plus for $100 a year. This comes as the brand closed 63 stores last month, laying off nearly 10,000 workers in the process. Today's Valentine's Day, and if you're looking for love, watch your wallet. A new report shows online dating scammers have bilked lonely hearts out of $1 billion. The Better Business Bureau says an estimated 82,000 U.S. consumers who've used dating sites in the past 3 years have been scammed. The fraudsters shower them with compliments, romantic text messages, and promised dates, only to ask them for money. In health news, Americans are more depressed and miserable than ever before. Data released by Gallup and the health company ShareCare reveals that overall well-being in the USA is at an all-time low. For the first time ever, not a single state reported an improvement in its residents' mental and emotional health. 1 in 5 Americans admitted to being professionally diagnosed with depression. Speaking of depression, a new Freeletics study shows that the average American has about 60 bad days a year. Work-related stress accounts for 4 out of 5 bad days experienced in a single month, while illness and financial worries are likely to ruin your day. Today, people are giving their hearts to others, and coincidentally, it is National Organ Donor Day. The day aims to raise awareness and encourage people to become organ donors. The holiday focuses on the 4 types of donation, namely tissue, blood, platelet, and marrow. And if you're trying to drop a few pounds, fruit juice may be weighing you down. During a nationwide obesity study, researchers found that the sugar in juice hits your bloodstream faster, inducing insulin jolts that alter your metabolism. Switching gears now, drones may soon play a vital role in preserving endangered animals across the globe. Researchers in Australia believed that counting species of wildlife using drones is a much more accurate way than traditional methods. The data can be the key to improving conservation efforts worldwide. All right, over now to Henry Blakes for a full look at our forecast.
Hey, we've got snow out there right now.
In 1948, the President of the United States was Harry Truman, and baseball legend Babe Ruth died. It's also the year that Rose Reel was married. Maddie Jelseth joins us now with a love story that has stood the test of time.
The very first time Ted laid eyes on Rose, he said she was the girl for him. Distance didn't keep them apart.
I thought that wasn't possible because she was 120 miles away and I never had a car.
But Rose had different thoughts.
I wasn't too impressed. No, I had thoughts.
After meeting through Rose's brother, they got married in 1948 by another one of Rose's brothers, Father George Spolunskowski. However, their union wasn't official for another decade.
It took him 10 years before he signed the thing. I was a free man for 10 years.
A signed marriage license, and after 15 children later, the Reels have some tips on young love.
Stay close to God, I guess. That's what we had done. Love him with all your heart.
Yes.
And put your spouse first all the time.
And they've been happy ever since, dancing the days away.
You never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away.
For West Dakota Fox News at 9, I'm Maddie Jelseth.
Another epic love story to tell you about. Meet Leroy and Helen Hedberg. It's been a Shakespearean romance for the couple since day one. Helen lived on the east side of the Mouse River and Leroy lived on the west side. These lovebirds say being together for more than 7.5 decades will teach you a thing or two about love.
Stay busy, then you won't have time to argue. Love one another all the time. That way you don't get in trouble.
The Hedbergs will be celebrating 76 years of marriage this November. Coming up, some incredible new footage of the Midwest cold snap. Stay tuned. Well, if you're suffering from aches and pains, a polar plunge may offer relief. Doctors are currently studying the benefits of taking a dip in freezing water. They say a short, sharp, cold water swim may offer alternatives to strong painkillers and physiotherapy. Authors warn that cold water swimming isn't for everyone and there are risks involved. And Lake Michigan looks more like a hockey rink right now. Drone footage captures the frozen rim of Chicago. We've had a little bit of a warm-up today, but Henry, what are we looking like tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow's going to be downright cold. We got up into the 40s today. Not going to be the case tomorrow. We're going to be waking up to snow, especially across the south. Going to remain rather light across the south, but across the north, you could see anywhere from 1 to 3 inches of fresh snow. That's where we start out, and these are your highs. Yes, the Arctic air is going to be around. North wind 10 to 20 miles per hour. Breezy over the next several days, but at least we recover for Friday and Saturday. However, Sunday, another round of snow, highs in the teens. The Arctic air begins to settle in a little more on Monday. That's where we're back into the single digits for daytime highs. Also notice a few more chances of snow. Still not looking at anything heavy, but any bit of moisture we could take, we'll get it for right now.
Henry, can you imagine being married for 76 years?
I can only imagine being alive for 76 more years. That would be great, though.
Other than you, I don't even like people for more than a couple hours. Good for them.
That happens.
Happy Valentine's Day.